Okay, welcome to How To with London Youth Rowing. I'm your host Tom, one of the coaches here at London Youth Rowing, and this week we'll be going through the basics of how to write a program. Technically a rowing program, but any sort of endurance program you've got going on. This is just an outline of how you would look at a year or a time that needs to be programmed and why we would program. And then in future videos, we're going to go into how you program your cardio, how you program your strength and conditioning, some kind of theory behind programming and how you choose what you do. But we're going to start really nice and basic, really high level. And this is kind of aimed at both coaches and athletes that want to understand a bit more about what's going on. So first and foremost, why write a program? Why not just do it free form or off the cuff or whatever it feels like you can do that day? You just go out and do it and just listen to yourself. Yeah, so why even start with one? And the main reason you'd start with a program, goals. Everyone has goals for a season, for a race, and they can be simple. They can range from just being a bit better at a task like getting on the water, or they can be, a position that you would like to come at a national event, particularly when you're dealing with high level crews. That's the thing that you want to concern yourself with. It helps us avoid injury as much as maybe intuitively listening to your body would avoid injury. Best way to do it, particularly when you're dealing with a high training load like you would do in any endurance sport, is to go through and make sure you've planned in rest, planned in recovery into the program. Before you even got to the point where you might be too tired and might be in danger of getting injured. Enter a period where we're all of a sudden overtraining, and we also don't enter a period where we're not making the most of our training. We do this by changing the intensity throughout the year. We have set rest time throughout the year. Sometimes it's a couple of days in a week. Sometimes it's, in the off season, it's a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And we're making sure that those times are managed so that we don't end up in a place where the body is too fatigued and is constantly stressed to the point that we don't recover. Recovery is almost impeded by the amount of training that goes on. So outside of kind of beginner level rowing, once you're into kind of a higher level of endurance, you can peak maybe 3 or 4 times in a year maximum. And you want to make sure when those peaks come, they're for the event that you set out in your goals. So you might peak at national championship. That's kind of the best way to write a program is to decide on the key events. So the ones that really, really kind of suit you and are the ones you want to do well at, and work backwards from there. So backwards from whenever that event is to the end of the season, and everything you're putting in lines up well with that event, and making sure that everything you're doing is towards the event, as opposed to doing stuff and then finding you're at the event you wanted to be at. There we go. That's a brief outline of why you might write a program, or for an athlete's point of view, why you'd be doing a program. Now we're going to jump to some core ideas about just naming some of the things in a program, making sure we understand what all the things mean. 3 things: macro, meso, micro. These sound like slightly complicated words. Essentially, they're the different sizes that you look at for the program. So with any program, we'll start with macro, a year-long view. For some programs, it's a 3 or 4 year view, but for most programs, it's a year-long view. This includes your peak competitions. So where are you looking to do well? It includes things like camps. It includes major events that you're just looking to go to, some that you're looking to peak for, some that you're looking to just be at. One of the advantages of writing the macro cycle first, you also have the chance to look down from when you start the season and make changes in the future depending on how things have gone. So the macro cycle isn't really fixed. It's almost definitely going to change as you get through the year. You might find the skills the athletes have, they pick up things quicker than you thought they would, and all of a sudden you can race ahead. Or you'll find that they don't pick things up, or the adaptations you thought they would take, you thought they were going to get fitter quicker, or you thought their base fitness was going to be higher coming into the program. And these are all things that the macro cycle can be changed and rewritten throughout the year. It's not a write it once, forget about it. Review constantly as you move through the year, change. Next lowest is meso. So meso is almost like a training phase. So when you're writing your program, there are different times of the year where you want to be doing different things. This might seem a bit cryptic, but hopefully in videos that are going to appear somewhere up here when we talk about cardio and strength and conditioning programming, these will make more sense. So meso is a block normally between 4 and 6 weeks. It could be up to 8 weeks long of a specific kind of training that might be characterized by base, so like low and slow training, or speed work, where it's really quite a high intensity to the work. Essentially, whenever the training changes its focus, we're going to enter a new meso cycle. And then finally, microcycles. So microcycles are the smallest part of the program, the part of the program that generally speaking the athletes will see day to day, that they interact with And this is normally between 7 days and 14 days. Obviously, most of the time it's 7 days because that's a week. Snapshot of what's happening that week, when, where, work, type of work, the phase that you're currently in, all of that. It's, from a coaching point of view, also important that you share the microcycles with athletes, at least. Yeah, so that's the 3 areas that we're looking to program. So there we go. That's the basics of a program, the important things you need. So the really important things, if I was to spell them out: 1, goals. Program is just a different way of getting goals. 2, your key events. So these two are pretty much inextricably linked. So these 2 things shape what you're going to write and how you're going to write it. For instance, you might be sitting down in August and writing a program for a peak in July. You always want to make sure that you're writing that on a macro timescale so you can work backwards from the peak event and detail every single individual race. And when you're writing this macro cycle, you are writing it as a big picture. You don't need to specify what you're going to be doing at midday on every weekend. You just want to say week by week, or block by block almost. So 4 to 8 week mesocycle blocks, where you expect those things to fall and what you expect them to look like. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. That was hopefully quite a good little overview on why you would write a program and a bit of the basics on how to break the program down into the different areas. In future videos, we'll go into how to use the macro and the meso and the micro cycles, and how to plan cardio and strength and conditioning into those effectively. But that'll do for now. It's a nice overview. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.